And this week we come together to celebrate the beautiful journey of motherhood and the power of breastfeeding. Joining us virtually is Sonya Miller-Martin, a staff nurse at the Alexandra Hospital, in Nevis, as we embrace this nurturing bond, celebrate the strength of motherhood, and shed light on the significance of breastfeeding for babies' health and well-being. Good morning, Sonya. You had a bright good morning for us earlier, and welcome. It's our pleasure having you. And Good Morning SKN.
It's such a privilege to be here.
Oh, our privilege having you. Yes. Indeed.
You'll better believe it. I come with my ray of sunshine and my breastfeeding goodness. I can't wait to tell you all about it.
Oh, I love. So let's dive right into it. When and why was this initiative started?
Well, across the globe, in my research as it relates to the World Health Organization, that they realized that child morbidity and mortality had really increased. And so they said to themselves, all right, we're going to be starting this initiative because we want healthy nation, healthy babies worldwide. And I know that according to research, it was started about in the 1990s, right? And it has really taken off since. And this year's theme, let us make breastfeeding and work. And it is really an enriching policy.
Okay. You said, let us make breastfeeding
and work. So we're tailoring it to, in assistance to assist our working mothers. How can we benefit them? How can we assist them when they go out to work? What are the policies that we can put in place to allow our breastfeeding mothers to have a successful breastfeeding time for that up to 2 years time when they do breastfeed the children, the infants.
2 years, wow. That's long.
Yes. Not really, because you're going to be cementing here. 6 months, World Health Organization says exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months. Then we're going to start supplementing. They're going to be eating out of the family pot. And then up to 2 years, because some children really wean themselves, actually. So if that child wants to really start, continue to breastfeed up to 2 years, so kudos to them. Mommy will be there to assist them as long as she's still producing.
I was years is long.
Was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
Listen, my mom told me she knew I was going to be a different child. I was going to be a star because out of all her children, I stopped until I was 4 years old.
He should have been paying his mother.
Yes.
What?
Because I was in some human potentia for real. You have children out there even up until 10 years of age. Yeah. The society look down on it, but it's a comfort. I have a colleague, her daughter is 2 years and up, and she still wants the breast in her mouth. She don't necessarily wants milk, but she wants the breast. So, with stimulation, the breast milk does come because the body says, hey, I still need to make this thing, so produce. You get what I'm trying to say? What? You eat out of the family pot, man.
So nothing wrong with it. So give the child the breast as long as
No.
What?
That's right. As long as
see my face over here, like what? Because listen, I saw an article, Sonya. I saw an article that says, right, and it is from Kansas. Breastfeeding is largely responsible for promoting healthy weight gain and reduce. No, I'm saying the wrong thing. Okay, so half of moms still breastfeed at 6 months, and only a third are still breastfeeding on their baby's first birthday. Is that because they go to work? Is that because they don't want to? Is that because they're just weaning them off of it because they think they're on too long?
I mean, there are so many things. You have said it. It depends on what the situation is. Some women don't want to breastfeed any at all. They prefer formula. Some babies want to breastfeed. So it depends on what is happening in your relationship with your child. There's no hard and fast rule to say. You understand what I'm saying, Carter?
Yes.
So it depends on the relationship what you have with.
4 years. I have no fear.
I was Andre's mom. He would have paid me now.
But Andre, I'm glad you asked those questions because mothers think that, oh my God, my breast going sag, I'm not going to look good. But you know what? Healthy children, I tell you. Because when you talk about the benefits of, you have ever heard about liquid gold, guys?
Yes.
You know where the word liquid gold comes from? The breast
milk, yes.
The colostrum, the first milk that comes into the mother, that's liquid gold, right? And we were talking in Jamaica, we talk about the breast is best. And it is packed full of vitamins, minerals, iron, everything that the baby wants. It builds the immune system, keeps the baby away from like asthma, eczema, you know, those childhood diseases. It's readily available, it's at the right temperature. But let me tell you, you were talking about cancer, Hortensia, that the research has shown that it lowers the risk of all those reproductive cancers, ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, cervical, leukemia. I said, girl, it's you know what? I have to give you a testimonial. I hope I'm not taking up too much time. I remember my mother, right, and my colleague as well, who is also a midwife back home, that both my mother and my colleague at different points in time, when my mother was younger, she had an eye infection. I want to tell you how powerful the breast milk is. She had an eye infection. Her aunt at the time just had a baby. And her mother, you know what her grandmother did? Put some of the breast milk in mommy's eyes, cleared it right up. And my colleague, because she knew the potency of the breast milk, she put some of the breast milk. Her daughter just had a child, in her daughter's eye, and it cleared it right up because it's full of antibodies, everything that will keep you away from diseases. You understand what I'm saying? So, hello, don't play with this thing called breast milk. Give it to the babies for growth, healthy development, skin shine, teeth. It's an amazing thing that God created for the mothers. And it's right here in the factory. You know what I'm saying? You just walk around with it. You walk around with it, you trust it. You understand?
They said it also prevents diabetes. How true is that? And one other question I want to add to that. If the mother has certain NCDs or contractible diseases, should they be breastfeeding?
I love that question, Hortensia. In the case where you have, for our HIV mothers, for mothers who have herpes and herpes simplex and stuff, especially the ones that have the lesions, you know, you don't breastfeed, right? Because it's going to affect the baby. For my HIV mothers, we don't promote breastfeeding, we promote formula feed because it can pass the breast milk and it affect the mother and affect the babies. So we say stay away. But if you have the common cold, the flu and all those things, no. Because you have what is called natural immunity. So whatever immunity that mommy produces, because of that cold, it naturally passes to the baby. So you know that whenever, if that flu passes around, baby is not going to get sick. Because guess what? Mommy already gave the baby immunity. Right? So there are some things that you have to look for where that is concerned.
Sonya, society has changed. Unlike myself, who would have stopped. I remember one of my co-workers, what is it that it do? Like, she would come to work with her breast swollen, and she had like is the milk from the breast.
Yes.
But how is it properly stored?
You guys are on fire this morning. I love those questions because you know what? Mothers need to hear this. Right? When we talk about storage, we're talking about putting it in a sterile bottle, right? We're talking about putting it in the breast milk plastic containers, right? That you get. When we talk about storage, we talk about labeling, right? So first, we're gonna be talking about the 4-4-6 rule. When we say 4-4-6, 4 minutes, 4 days, and 6 to 12 months, right? So what we're going to find out, when we express the milk freshly, we can keep it on the counter for about 4 hours. After that, we discard, right? The express breast milk, whenever you want to refrigerate, you keep it in the fridge for 4 days. If you want to freeze, you keep it in the freezer for 6 months and up to 12 months, right? So you're gonna label everything. You're not gonna fill the container up to the brim because whenever you freeze breast milk, it tends to expand and to overflow. So whatever you need at a given moment, let's say per feed, you're gonna store it maybe 2 ounces in the bag and label, right? When you label that, so you're going to take whatever you do last to the back, right? So whatever you put in first, you're going to take it out. You know, the leaf system, first in, first out.
Yes.
So that it don't lose a potency over a period of time.
Okay.
Right? And know that put them, as I said, put them in a sterile jar. I know that the new thing nowadays is to put it in the after you pump the milk, you put it in the bag. That is completely safe.
Okay.
But what World Health Organization is saying, the best way to store is in a glass jar, right, with a lid on, and a hard plastic container with a lid on, and we're going to sterilize these.
Okay. So a glass jar with a cover on and a hard plastic container with a cover on as well.
That's it. I'm not saying that the plastic bags don't work, you know, the ones that they have nowadays. You know, that plastic, when it's frozen, you know, it tends to compromise the whole strength of the plastic. So be careful where that is concerned.
Oh, okay. Thanks for that.
You know what, Andre, don't get discouraged. I'm telling my mothers never ever to get discouraged. I know that some of the things that I experienced while being at the hospital, they said that the breast hurts and, you know, they can't bother and they're going to take up the formula. But guess what? I always say the breasts are like the knife and fork of the dinner table, of the baby's dinner table, right? Sometimes they take a little while before they get in the hang of it, because some of the nipples are not large enough. Some of them are small enough. And then so what happens sometimes is that, you know, they become full and engorged and the baby don't want to take the breast. But let me tell you what breastfeeding is. Breastfeeding is also pumping the milk from the breast and putting it in the bottle so the baby can get it. So it's not an excuse not to breastfeed the baby because we want a healthy federation, not true. Yes. Right? So I'm encouraging you, at it, keep at it, because it's an amazing thing that God has created so we can have a healthy life and keep away from diseases. So be encouraged, my mothers.
And what about those mothers who it's so hard for them to lactate? What about those? What advice do you have for those moms?
It's hard for them to lactate.
Yeah.
World Health Organization says that is a fact that some mothers don't produce as much. So there are some ways in which you can say, all right, I'm going to stimulate my breasts. One of the ways in which, this is too much of a hot topic for the morning, where you can even say that your child's father, your husband, can even suck on the breasts as well to stimulate lactation. So as you basically continue to breastfeed, as you drink up your water, as you drink up the nutrient, as you relax, you're going to find that the milk starts to come in. Okay. Right? So don't get discouraged. Right.
No, all right. Not at all. I need Nurse Sonya to tell us one of the myths.
Yes, tell us one of the
myths of breastfeeding.
Yeah.
There are several, but you know which one I'm going to give you? I'm going to give you the one because it correlates with the theme for this. Let us make breastfeeding and work, right? Mm-hmm. So we're talking about mothers who say, oh, and Andre picked up on it, and I love that you guys are just on it this morning. One of the things that I hear, because I'm going to work, I can't breastfeed, right? We have already established that breastfeeding is also expressing from, pumping the milk from.
Yeah.
So one of the ways the World Health Organization said, okay, you can walk with the igloo, because we did talk about storage, right?
Yes.
Walk with the igloo with a little ice in there, pump the milk at work, right? Express it, put it in a bottle, put it in the igloo so you can take it home. And you know what? There are policies in place right now, and that's what the World Health Organization and UNICEF are working so that mothers can get added time with their babies. They said up beyond 3 months, right? So they're saying 18 weeks now, right? And they're saying that workplaces should have areas for mothers to breastfeed, to have areas for mothers to express. So the world is changing. The world is seeing the importance of breastfeeding. The world is seeing the importance of mothers and children. And so, you know, it's an encouragement to my working mothers not to be afraid, not to be, you know, ashamed of what is happening, because it's a natural thing. So you're going to have to find ways and means of making it work.
I like that. Oh man, I like that. Any plans or any events? Are there any events planned for breastfeeding month?
for breastfeeding month, what us as the hospital at Alexandra is doing, we're gonna be doing a walkabout. Okay. I think it's tomorrow. For tomorrow, and then we're gonna be walking up to the people. We're gonna be going downtown, and just walking up to the people, asking them what is going on. Tell me about breastfeeding. I know these are ventures that enlighten the community, that enlighten the federation. And so whenever we ask questions, whenever we hear what they have to say, we further give them information, dispel the myths, bust the myths, give them information. And I believe also stkitts is doing this as well, but they're going to be doing it later on in the afternoon. That's about 1 o'clock. So we're making this a part of the community, where we're joining forces with the community, teaching them about breastfeeding, teaching them about our children and a healthy nation.
I like that.
I love these questions that you guys, I can hear the sense of care and concern that we're not only speaking amongst ourselves, but also you want to advise and inform the nation. But I love that question too, Andre. One of the things that I was impressed with the Federation being on this side is that they have support group in the community. So whichever clinic that you're at, you can contact your midwife and tell your midwife, I'm having issues with my baby latching. I'm having issues with my baby taking the breast. She'll explain to you the do's and the don'ts and stuff like that. And before they actually leave the hospital, Andre and Hortensia, we teach them about breastfeeding. We teach them about proper latching. We teach them to ensure that your breast is empty, to empty one breast at a time, because guess what? We want the rich fatness of the foremilk and the watery substance of the hind milk, so baby can get an entire full belly of goodness. That's what we're talking about. So help is out there. All they need to do, call the hospital, call the health center, and find out what help can be provided, so they have that ease of relationship and that ease of breastfeeding with the babies.
Okay. Well, doctor, hear me. Well, see, maybe you're going to be a doctor, so I'm calling it into being already. But Nurse Sonya,
I love nursing.
You love nursing, okay. Well,
one-on-one care with my patients.
Okay, it was indeed a pleasure chatting with you. Unfortunately, our time is up, but we look forward to more conversations like this with you. So thank you for coming on this morning and informing us and the nation regarding breastfeeding. But we're going to let you close out the program with us. I hope you've been watching so you know how to sing our song and everything, okay?